All right, everybody, it's Farrell with Untamed TV, and I'm here with Carol and Sean. And you have a foundation, and somebody was talking about it earlier, but I'm really not sure what it's all about.
We're still in the making. It's not completely put together yet, but we've been working on it. It's called Soar. Soar.serve.org is the website. And it stands for Serve, Overcome, and Renew.
So what exactly is it that you're looking to accomplish with Soar?
The idea is to just start making a difference in the world. I don't know if you've, we talked earlier about, there's been a lot of, I don't mean to go on to the depressing side of things, but in Utah, one of the highest, the state of Utah is one of the highest suicide rates. Mm-hmm. And we've had in our family, in my family, there's been 3 suicides since 1986. So we had one in 1986, one in 1997, and one in 2015. And so we're aware of how people really struggle, especially in the state. And so we are trying to make a difference through just reaching out to people and letting them know that they're not invisible, that we see them and they have a purpose, they have a mission, and to not give up on themselves.
8 years ago, we were on the brink of divorce ourselves. After, 28 years of marriage?
It only took 28 years for us tired of each other to say yes. Huh?
And then we were writing up all the papers and everything, and we pulled it all back together, pulled the family back together, and at that time we said we want to do something to bring families back together.
Yeah. And part of that entailed addictions, which is what happens to a lot of people when they kind of get separated from each other. They get pulled into addictions, and those addictions kind of create that loneliness and separation from people. Yeah. And as we started trying to find ways to connect people more, this has been, a way we hand out rocks to people. Rocks. They're called gratitude rocks.
I usually throw rocks at people. I never thought about giving them to anybody. This kind of reminds me like the same idea as a worry stone.
Yeah.
Okay, you rub it and the stone takes all the worries away. And
well, as you take that one and you try.
Yeah, we want you to have that.
Oh, well, thank you.
And you're going to keep one for yourself, pick it out of the bag for you, and then the other ones you're going to give to somebody. And it gives you that adrenaline, not adrenaline, but the serotonin levels. Part of the depression is people aren't getting enough of those happy chemicals going in their bodies, right? So when you are given a gift, it automatically creates a release of the serotonin levels.
Which is like a small Prozac.
Yeah, right?
And when you give it to someone else, it releases for them too. And the other cool thing is, if there's anybody around that sees you do it, it does it for them too.
They're all interested.
Yeah, and they see somebody, you make somebody happy. And I mean, how does it make you feel when you're around someone, you see someone do a nice thing for someone else and you see them really happy? Doesn't it usually affect you where you go, well, that was really cool to watch?
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed, I think people don't, like, even when you see somebody doing something that's courteous, you're like, oh, wow, look at that. It's just courtesy.
Yeah.
It's not even nothing. Yeah. It's holding the door open at the grocery store for somebody,
Exactly.
So it would be nice if there was more of that,
Right.
And then here's a bag of pins, and they say, I am enough on them with a purple Swarovski crystal on that, and that purple signifies royalty. And so when you give that to somebody and help them feel like they're royalty, that they are enough, it's surprising. You'll see somebody in the grocery store, you'll see a waitress or somebody else and say, I think you could use this today. And the reaction that you get is just overwhelming.
You think about people, when we give these away, people act as if we've given them $1 million. I'm not kidding. They will. We've had people even start to cry and say,
"Really?
I just really needed this today. Thank you so much.
I need a case of these for work."
I'll tell you. So we had an experience recently where we were driving home from being down here in Salt Lake because we live up in Richmond, and we broke down by a Maverick right in the middle of the road. And I say, we had 3 angels disappear out of nowhere. They came and pushed our car off the side of the road right next to the Maverick, and we were able to get the car down into the Maverick, and what we found out was the hose was loose and all the radiator fluid had just out, so we had to buy radiator fluid. So we go in and we're buying our radiator fluid and everything, and we bought too much. So I went to the lady there and I said, can I return one of these because we don't need all this? And she's kind of a little grumpy, and this is where you listen to your intuition. And I heard, this lady needs a pin or a bracelet. And so I was like, okay. So I went back out to the car because we always usually have something with us. And I grabbed a couple of the bracelets and I went back in, and she was standing wiping off some of the tables at that point. And I said, can I give you a gift? And she was like, sure. And I said, go ahead and pick one. And she picked the one she wanted. And I kind of will look at them ahead of time and kind of feel, which one do I feel like she might want? And usually I'm right.
Really?
They'll pick the one that I
surprising.
feel like they'll pick, and they'll pick it. So she picked the one I thought, and she took it and she said, thank you so much. I just needed this today so much. And I knew the grumpiness was just because she was having a hard time. She needed somebody to recognize that she was having a bad day.
You know, that story almost makes me want to sit by the customer service booth at Walmart because those people just yell at that poor employee that's working there, and there's nothing they can do about it. Their hands are tied. I still want to yell at those people, hey, knock it off. I'm going to do that. I'm going to stand at Walmart. And I'm just going to hand rocks to the customer service lady.
You know, that's great because I did that one day. I had to put up a form I needed to put a form up, and I went to the customer service, and this lady at the customer service just looked drained. She was just like, and I'm talking to her, and I asked her where I could put the paper, and she's, just over there, you know. And I go, before I leave, can I give you a present? And she's like, what? Sure. So I give her one of our rocks, and I told her about it, and she just beamed, and she's like, thank you so much. And then I'm like, now where can I put this? And she goes, oh wait, here, just a second. She takes out the tape and she puts the tape on it and gets it off. Oh, you can just, and it was like her whole attitude changed simply by me giving her a little gift.
You know, that's actually a really good thing to have, because there's so much negativity in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody's, you know what I mean? And so it's nice to know that there's things like that out there that will help people out instead of just
It's creating connection.
always
People need to connect.
cutting everybody off at the knees, and just because it seems like it's a dog eat dog, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean? Everybody's in it for themselves.
That's
Trying
exactly
to
right.
protect yourself
So
from
it's
getting hurt.
it's nice to see something like this for sure.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You'll have to report back to us because we're excited to see what kind of experience you have with
Yeah,
us.
that'll be
You'll
really
be
cool.
surprised.
I'll have to do my
amazing.
crowd surfing show. I'll find somebody who's bummed out and give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when
So-
you give it to them, even give them tell them to take an extra one and give it to somebody else.
There you go.
And then you're passing it on to where someone else is getting an opportunity, because they not only get this one opportunity from you, but then they get to do it again, and they get to be the giver instead of the receiver.
Yeah, right.
So you're doing the
Exactly.
cycle of service.
So it's SOAR, which stands for, it's written right here. Serve, overcome, and renew.
Yeah.
So look for SOAR on the net. What's the website again?
soar-serve.org.
.org, not .com. It's .org. Get
.org.
that right. And thanks a lot, guys, for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.